take me back to when you first were named head coach and then going out and having a recruit looking the way you look. And I'm talking about your skin tone.
And
having to
beautiful
recruit.
black
And
woman.
and was there any apprehension? Was there any fear when you did that?
For me, there was not. I think the more fear came from my age, and because at the time I was 23, just turned 23 actually. Wow. And I had to go out and recruit, and my skin color does play a part in it too, because a lot of my sport is based around the Midwest, which can be more conservative, but I didn't think about that as much, and I figured, most of the athletes that have reached out to me, they obviously know what's going on.
Okay.
So people of color who are doing diving, this world is already very small, especially for athletes. And I was talking to Donald earlier. I could name 5 people of color in diving, coaching, and athletes. And just trying to expand that is something that I'm looking to do while being a head coach.
It's kind of part of the job description in a way, that you want to be in a position to move your sport forward. And understand that forward movement is based on what things you went through trying to be in the sport.
I want to take it back just a little bit, back to when I was a high school gymnast. My club had a lot of African American gymnasts on it, and so for me, I was used to seeing that. When I went to get recruited, I remember I went to a college fair and stopped by Howard University's their table. And I asked them, I said, do you have a gymnastics program here? And they gave me the weirdest stare and said, that's a white sport. We don't have that here. And I was just taken back because I wasn't in that way of thinking, because I had a teammate full of African American gymnasts. And part of my choice of going to West Virginia is that there were teammates on that team currently that were African American. And so I wanted to be able to have that. I wanted to be able to have teammates that looked like me, and I could be able to talk to about issues that would face us and maybe not other teammates. And one of my choices when I went to take a recruiting visit, I had asked about minority student population, and they said, oh, well, it's 13. And I thought, well, okay, 13% isn't bad. And then they said, no, 13 total. And I thought, oh my goodness, wow, there's only 13 other African Americans here on campus. And that made me step back and say, I don't think I want to go to a school where I'm just going to be one of the only.
Well, I'll take you a little further back. When I became head coach in 1984, it was a challenge for me to be named head coach for a women's team and be a black man. That was a very hard challenge for me, knowing that I don't look like Denzel Washington. I don't smile all the time. If I'm not smiling, people are saying I'm growling. I look mean or evil. That's just who I am without a smile. So I try really hard to hold myself up a little higher and try to get a smile out. One of the things that's very important to me when I make my initial contacts is contact through emails or texting or whatever, but having those athletes have their parents contact me. Then I say, I will be contacting your 15, 16-year-old daughter and getting their permission to do so.
I would say, I got my first head coaching job at San Francisco, so a little different. I didn't feel it there. I think it was more my age was a big component there, just like how you're gonna raise or finish raising my kid, pretty much. Now, I was different, right? I had a former coach in a conference. We met up and he finally got to the question, because I always wait for him, like, just ask what you really want to ask. Well, are you going to use your background to bring in more diversity? I was like, yes.
That's the plan.
And so it's the plan. And so, yeah, of course I am.
And I think fencing, right? I think of all of us at the table, it's very unique.
It's, as Craig Robinson, Michelle's brother, we had a conference, he said, it's an obscure sport. so not that obscure. So because of, I would say, my non-traditional coaching background, when I became a head coach, the world of fencing already knows me from, being president of a big federation or country, vice president of the International Federation. So my visibility was there. A lot of it is having young people who want to be there, having parents who say that we believe that you're in the process of creating the kind of program where I think my child will develop into the human being that I want them to be, and then them trusting, you and your coaching staff to mentor them.